So how many of you know that there's a new Star Wars series set to premiere in just a few days on Disney Plus? That Star Wars series being The Acolyte. Created, written, directed by former Harvey Weinstein assistant Leslie Headland. Well, seems to me that the press for this new Star Wars series to be released on D Plus is starting to pick up steam a little bit ahead of its release. In fact, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy's been out there, and let's just say she is sticking with A, the Force is female, and B, Star Wars is too male dominated. So let's jump in and dig in, shall we? This is from comingsoon.net. Kathleen Kennedy says Star Wars female actors struggle due to male-dominated fan base. In a New York Times interview with Star Wars, The Acolyte creator Leslie Headland brings up the extreme reactions modern Star Wars shows and movies bring. Headland's show has been the latest to draw ire from sections of the fan base. First, it was concerns about it possibly breaking Star Wars canon or not. However, as more was learned about The Acolyte, a mystery thriller set at the very beginning of the Star Wars canon during the High Republic era before the Phantom Menace, there were almost predictable grumblings about a perceived overabundance of women and minority characters. Well, yeah. Headland tends to distance herself from such complaints, but she's not immune to it. As a fan myself, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. Are you talking recent past, Leslie, or distant past when George Lucas was in charge? Because Star Wars storytelling in the recent past has been not only frustrating, but infuriating. I've felt it myself. I stand by my empathy for Star Wars fans, she later wrote in the text message. But I want to be clear, anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. Okay. Then you just alienated, I don't know, the majority of your fan base. It's a sadly predictable aspect of modern Star Wars fandom. Star Wars head Kathleen Kennedy is all too familiar with it. In the interview, there's a quick chat with Kathleen Kennedy. She comments on the sour side of opinion on the Acolyte and modern Star Wars. Additionally, she supported Headland and defended her position on modern Star Wars. My belief is that storytelling does need to be a representative of all people. That's an easy decision for me. Operating within these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying. I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more. Because of the fan base being so male dominated, they sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. When Star Wars was created way back when in 1977 by George Lucas, it was a story for men. That's your audience. Star Wars audience is men. I got an idea. Make a TV show for men. Real simple. Now, Bounding into Comics has also an article. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy says she told the Acolyte creator, "You've written a great Star Wars show. Now go write a Leslie Headland show." Yeah, it's about her personal experience, explained Kennedy, and it was just so well done and incredibly emotional, talking about her play Cult of Love. I remember reading that and saying, "Leslie, this is exactly what you should tap into as you write this story for us." And of course, she goes in to describe the Acolyte as being told from the evil side of the coin about the bad guys. And but what I want to get into, and this is why I love about fandom, myself included. That's why I make videos now, because I never used to comment. I used to lurk and read, and so now I've dipped my toe into making videos and commenting, and not only sharing my opinion, but the opinion of other people. Like the comments on this article here. If it's written for her, don't be surprised if she's the only one watching it. That's the most nutty thing about it. From the way the article is written, Headland had written what she thought was a good Star Wars show. Yes, it was horrible, but she was apparently still making some sort of effort. Then Kennedy actually told her to go back and ruin it even more. Not even Headland wanted to make a Headland show. Kennedy is truly vile, truly insane, and when Disney finally goes bankrupt for the final time, I don't think that'll ever happen. It could, but I don't think it will. Her influence will be the one that people speak of that drove the nails into the coffin. The new widely diverse fan base will save this. Rainbow Nation will carry this. I'm sure of it. Yeah, see, this is made for the less than 1% of the fan base out there. I find it ironic she called her play a cult of love, considering what she did in Hollywood. Ouch. I don't even know what to say anymore. This woman has lost billions in revenue, and this is exactly how it happens. There is nearly a decade of dissatisfaction with the product, and the numbers are there to prove it. How is she still there? Who wants to see a self-important show made by the woman who enabled her boss to do terrible things? Exactly. At this point, it really is obvious that Kennedy really is trying to get herself fired for whatever reason. It's like that South Park episode where Mr. Garrison runs for office and can't get thrown out regardless of the absolutely insane things he does. Nobody on the planet is asking for a Leslie Headland show. Now, over at comingsoon.net, comments are, your answer is one article above. She asked me what I knew about Star Wars, and my answer was Harrison Ford runs around space with a giant dog. And Leslie said, you're hired. That happens at Lucasfilm, and that happens at Marvel. They don't want people that know the source material, know the lore, writing these shows, writing these series, writing these movies. Fellas, she's right. So let's all of us horrible men just stand back for this one. Let that female audience prove how big they really are when this drops next week. They don't need us to drive these premiere numbers up at all. And I believe it, y'all. I mean, unless this is all nonsense and an excuse as to why it's going to fail before it even comes out, because that would be immature and petty. That's what happens when you insult the male audience and spoon feed them crap. They keep doing the same nonsense and expect people to be on board. That's what they expect. They expect us all just to, okay, we're going to watch. Well, good morning to her. The world is male dominated for the last couple thousand years. My dislike for Disney Star Wars has nothing to do with female leads and everything to do with poor writing. That hits the nail on the head right there. Poor writing. Write better stories. I know. Go back to all the stories that Disney said weren't canon. There's a ton of books out there you can pull from. So what do you guys think about the Acolyte? You going to watch? Comment down below. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Share this video out there with your friends and family. And with that, I will see you guys later.